Well, hello. I am Selby. What was that? No, for real. This time I'm gonna talk to you about the geography of bliss. So, this book, I haven't finished it, so I'm gonna read it for some more. On the epilogue chapter, so it won't take long. Stay with me. That's it, folks. I finished it. The Geography of Bliss by Eric Weiner. Is it Weiner? I have no idea. Why am I still wearing my glasses? Okay. So, I don't know where to start. Why did I get this book? I don't even know, Kaya. I forgot everything about how I discovered this book.
Maybe it was an Instagram reel, or it was not on TikTok. Maybe it was on Goodreads, someone has read it or put it on their want to read bucket list. Maybe I was just, I don't know, I couldn't, for the life of me, remember where I found out about this book.
But the premise of this book really hooked me at the time. What I know was that the book was aiming to give the viewers insights about some of the countries that are on the top of the most happy list. And there were 10 countries, but there's this mini surprise in the middle of the book about the countries. You can figure that out on your own because this is the spoiler-free review. And I was hooked, because at the time I think I wasn't happy with my life. I think I was just sort of floating around in this world without having a fixed goal. I was just not happy. I think my life wasn't heading towards the direction that I wanted it to be. So yeah, hence I got this book. But even the conclusion of buying this book was already gotten me into a little bit of a confusement. So basically this book that I own, it's from, where's that logo? Mizan. Yeah, it's from Mizan. So Mizan is an Indonesian publisher that usually translates plenty of outside or international books. And I was totally confused whether or not to buy the book, a translated book like this, because I usually wouldn't opt for that option. I always prioritize the books in its original language, and I just feel the translations weren't always in its best shape and form to communicate the author's mind and his or her thoughts and feelings. Some words weren't just enough to convey the feelings or thoughts that the author is trying to communicate. But I browsed through Amazon and I don't know, some of the big brands, even locally big brand, and turns out they need 40 days to deliver this book to me. So I was like, I'm gonna compromise it. I'm gonna try to get the translated version. And here is the book. So I think the cover is actually very gorgeous. You can totally predict which countries the author is going in this cover, and I prefer this cover, to be honest, rather than the US version. But the first time that my first impression of this book was that I didn't really, I'm not having a good fit with the translations. It felt sort of literal. It felt sort of taken as a matter of factly. I'm really sorry for the translator, but there might be a need to revise it. There are no, oh yeah, there is the name of the translator here, but I also, it's not a big deal because I don't want to wait 40 days. I'm an impatient girl. No, because I was rushing to find out about this whole happiness thingy. What are the factors? Is it the place that I live? Does it influence my feelings so much that I feel like I'm just not, my life is not where I want it to be. So I got this book and I compromised some of it. I think for like people like generally like Indonesians, they can actually read it, enjoy. I think it's enjoyable, but it's not. The translation couldn't really capture the nuance sometimes, but I honestly like this book so much. So like in general, I rate this book 4.5 stars because I really love how the author is like trying to talk about like deep stuff, but he does it gracefully with like inserting like many jokes and like I don't know, it just felt light. It doesn't feel like a philosophical book, which I thank God because I don't think I really like philosophical books. And yeah, I really see how like in the entire time what's going on in my mind was that I can see how this translates like in English. Some lines like it will just be so much funnier, but I actually enjoy and I laughed through a couple moments of the book. And yeah, so like I actually really like, also the second thing that I liked was that the flow the flow of the book was really great in a way that each paragraph, like there were no section of the book that is like focused on the theoretical finding first and then later on like discuss the practical things. Like there were no sections like that at all, which I'm glad about. The author interlace like between the things that he observes, his interviews, his interviewees' thoughts and feelings about the topic, and then interlace it with like scientific findings, and also inserts like some jokes, very contextual ones to be honest. But yeah, I enjoy it so much. 4.5 stars immediately. Just like a main thing for me would be it's a translated book, so like I'm not like, if maybe if I were reading this in its original language, I would power through it like very quick. Maybe it would just be like what, 2 days read. But I actually finished this in about a month with many of activities going on, like finals, midterms, and all of that. And like sometimes there were points where I'm just like, I really want to like power through this book, but I just couldn't because my brain tries to like smoothen the flow of the book, smoothen the paragraphs and the sentence. Oh yeah, thing, so that like during this 1 month I was going back and forth in terms of moods, on like desperation but also like stable mood, and then like highly optimistic mood. I altered through all those moods like for quite significant amount of time, because I think I finished the first half of the book like this much during my desperation era. And then I think I had gotten so much better. I think during like this first half of the book I was like isolating myself from the world, and just I didn't want to talk to anybody, and like I just want to like go to sleep and read this book. That was all that I was doing, and I didn't really do anything productive. But during the second half of this book, that's where the power of the book comes in. I think it plays a quite significant role. It takes you traveling. I think that was also one of the reasons why I was like interested in buying the book, because at the moment I really wanted to travel, but my current circumstance just didn't allow me to do so. So like it's really nice, like 10 countries, you see many kinds of perspectives that I think is, as a whole, is very representative to the world view of like happiness and like worldwide lifestyle. So it gives you like a broad view of how the world works overall. unfortunately, like kind of leaving the conflicted areas, but you should totally read it. I think I would recommend it to anyone that is currently wanting really bad to travel, but also circumstances doesn't allow them to do so. And I also am recommending it to those of you who are currently in like a desperation stage in life. So, like it gives a very diverse view about how happiness is like being perceived, like either through sensory experience and also connecting it to like a what bigger scope, such as spirituality. And then also some of it were like also about how populism or maybe social circumstances, social conditions affects like happiness. Of course, it's not a big surprise. Like I think most of us probably predict how a country or a population in a country will be happy, but I think it's just such an enjoyable process to like getting through these countries. Like you feel like you were just traveling with the author, like he carries you around in his pocket, and I really like that. But I wouldn't recommend the getting the translated version. I think it might be a lot better, easier to understand if you are if your main language is English, or maybe if you prefer to read, speak, and write in English, to like get the real language version, like untranslated version. Okay, I guess that's all for my review today. Thank you so much for watching, and kindly anticipate the next book reviews that I might or might not post. Anyways, that's it. Eric Weiner's The Geography of Bliss. Should check that out.